make this video a little bit shorter, and so I'll keep the intro short, but I just wanted to give a shout out to all my friends in the Philippines, especially my honey, Neth Arvida, and all my Filipino friends down in Florida. This shirt was a result of my trip to the Philippines at Boracay Island, one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been to. So today we're gonna do a braised Korean short rib, and I checked my channel and I don't have that particular video up on the YouTube, so we're gonna get started on that. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, I got the camera focused on the cutting board here, and you can see I have laid out the ingredients that are going to go in this marinade. It's green onions, garlic, which I've already got chopped up and suspended in some oil, and we have some honey that I mixed with a little bit of water. You know how you do when you're down to the last bit, you add a little bit of water and shake it, and honey gets hardened, so I put it in hot water. And I have about 1/6 of a cup of Kikkoman Soy Sauce here. That's a 1/3 cup measure there, and it's about half full. And we're going to put some maybe 2 tablespoons of this sesame oil in there also. So, but there's one thing I wanted to show everyone about when you get these ribs. They're short ribs, but they're called. This is a flanken cut, which is very thin. And when they cut these ribs, they use a bandsaw, and some of the fragments from these little bones get on the meat. So you want to wash that off. So I'm going to show you just with one of them. I have a colander set up in the sink. And you can just open them up. These are a little pricey, and some of them are fatty, but as you braise it, you know, you'll skim the oil off. But also it's very delicious. There were $3.79 a pound, and each package was about 0.8 pounds. You see how they look? Okay, so what we're going to do real quick, turn on the cold water, and you'll just rinse them all. You can feel that, the grittiness of the bone fragments. And then you'll let that drain a little bit. Okay, I'll move the camera over now. And what we're going to do, cut off the ends of your green onions. And sometimes when you get green onions, they have little bad parts. Just pick them off. Then what we're going to do is cut it in like 3/4 to 1 inch strips, holding your knife on the diagonal, like so. And by the time we get this onion cut up, the ribs will probably be drained off pretty good. You can give them a shake or two, because you don't want to have any excess water on them. It'll dilute your marinade. So what you see what I've done, I've dumped them all in the bowl, and now I'm going to scoop up my onions. That's one thing good about your cleaver. It's like an all-purpose tool, because you can use it as almost like a scoop also when it has this wider edge on it. Okay, we're going to dump in the soy sauce. Use almost this whole thing. You can never go wrong with garlic. So I'm going to use almost this whole heaping tablespoon of chopped garlic. And then 1.5 of the 100% pure sesame oil. 2 tablespoons of honey. and you mix this up real good, and you leave it in your fridge for about an hour to 2 hours, even overnight's better. And then what you'll do is you'll brown this in one of those deep, what do you call this, jumbo cookers, or you can use a wok. But what you'll do is you'll brown it, and then you'll add maybe a half a cup of water, reduce the heat, and you'll cook this for about an hour. What you want to have happen is you want this muscle part of the bone between the ribs to be like almost fall off of the bone, and that's how you know it's tender. And you'll come up with a really nice sauce after you skim the oil off. That'll be good over top of the white rice, and then you serve a vegetable with it. You can saute some string beans or even some broccoli. So that's it, the marinated. You can see it looks really awesome, I think. Makes me hungry. Okay, as you can see, I have the jumbo cooker on the burner, and it's been preheating. I put my hand over it and I can feel the heat coming off its side. I want it really hot so it doesn't stick too much. You can see some of the non-stick coating is worn off this one, which means it's had its share of use. That's not going to stop anything. And if the meat does stick to the bottom, when you're braising something, you're going to add a little liquid anyway, so it's going to cook off. I'm just going to get a little dirty. Use my hand. And then if there's any of the marinade left in the bowl, in that mixing bowl, I'm going to add just a little bit of water to it, swirl it around, and add it to the dish. See how that browns when the pan is really hot? That's what you want on all the sides of it. I think that looks yummy already. You can use this same recipe and cook this outside on the grill. The last video that I put up on YouTube, one of the subscribers' users' name is I ate BBQ for lunch. I thought that was a unique username, and I appreciate all the comments on my videos. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You see, that's almost there. They're almost all brown. There's what's left in that bowl. You know, I add some of the green onions. In Asian cooking, you can never go wrong with too much garlic. In American cooking, you can never go wrong with bacon. Unless you're a vegetarian. So I've added all the good stuff, swirled it around, and added all the good stuff back in. And I'm going to reduce the heat and braise it for at least an hour. An hour and a half is even better. And this good thing about this dish is, after you can cook it ahead of time, and just before you're ready to eat, you can reheat it after you've skimmed off any excess oil. And I'll show you the finished product later. Okay, everybody, we're back. I wanted to point out a few things. I've had this cooking now for an hour and a half. After the first hour, the broth had cooked down, so what I did was I skimmed all the fat off, and then I added a 1/4 cup of water, and I cooked it down for another half an hour. So what I mean by skimming the fat, you'll see. Let me see if I can get this one on the bit. I tilt the camera down a little bit. I tilt the pan, and then take a spoon and just skim off the very top the oil off of the dish. You have to be careful because you don't want to skim off the juice. So basically, what you're left with, there is a lot of fat in this, but it cooks off. So this is all the fat that I've skimmed off of this dish. And you can see this is what you're looking for with the meat. When the bone, the gristle part of the bone pulls away, that means it's tender. So it took an hour and a half to cook this. And what we'll do, I will use tongs this time, and we're going to scoop it all up onto the platter. We're going to garnish it with some of the green onions, and then we're going to pour the broth over top of it. Very tasty dish. This is braised Korean short ribs. In Korean it's called Kalbi, Jiim. Kalbi is the beef ribs. Jiim is the braising it. I hope you try this because it's a very delicious dish. Thanks for watching.